Batman, Joker's Daughter, #1, written by Marguerite Bennett, art by Megan Hetrick. So, Joker's Daughter, for those unaware, a character that pretty much originated in Catwoman. And the idea is that there's this young girl who found Joker's face after death of the family and then said, yep, that's my identity now because I'm crazy like that. And then in Catwoman, she ruled over part of the Gotham Underground via very violent means. And then she kind of just became a free-floating character that anyone could use. And I guess Marguerite Bennett had an idea for a one-shot. So we open up with Joker's daughter under, like, in a sewer, something like that. And she's, like, chewing at Joker's face because it's starting to rot, and she's like, yes, my god, the devil in Gotham, the god of death, my daddy, I'm going to find him because I need him to be my true father. I must seek him out, so therefore I'm going to go to the one person who I know always knows where Joker is, Batman. And so we see there's some school bus or something set on fire, and Batman immediately runs in to try to save it. And as it's on fire, he busts in and sees that it's not actually filled with children. It's filled with, like, mannequins. And one of the mannequins has a note in the mouth that's on purple paper written in blood and says, "Miss me." And she's like, yes. See, if he thinks he's going after Joker, then he's going to go to wherever Joker is because clearly he'll want to arrest him. So I just have to follow him after that point. And so the bus, like, officially blows up. Batman gets to safety. The cops are like, "Hey, you didn't save anyone." He's like, "There was no one on it. It was all just mannequins." Like, that's all it was. And he goes away. He flies off. And so Joker's daughter gives chase. Apparently, Batman goes down into, like, a sewer grate, and then he starts making his way deeper and deeper until he finally comes to this, like, waterfall, this big, like, drop of water. And that's when Joker's daughter says, like, all right, we've reached the point where you can't go any further. I'm going to get some answers. And she comes in with her little scepter thing ready to strike. And Batman just immediately, like, throws her off, being like, okay, look, you weren't stealthy. I knew you were following me, like, way up till then. I thought you may have been a threat, but you're, like, an idiot and also a child. So no, I'm not that scared of you. And he sees that it's the Joker's face, and he's like, oh, I get it. You got, like, the Joker, like, oh, Joker's so cool sort of thing. Look, this drop here, this is where Joker died. He fell off of this, and I could not find his body. So, yeah, his corpse is down there. Do with that what you will. And she's just like, no, you're lying. He's not dead. I'm his daughter. I gotta find my daddy. And she does manage to, like, uppercut Batman, and Batman's like, no, you're not a villain. You're just a messed up kid with a gross mask. You're not, like, a threat. It's whatever. So he puts her in a headlock and saying, like, look, the only reason I'm going to let you even keep this mask is that I want you to see it rotting in your hands and understand that it was always going to be just this rotten piece of flesh for you. And so something comes over the like, his police scanner, and he's like, I don't have time for you anymore. Bye. And he just runs out back the way he came. And she's like, what? No, I'm not just a kid. I've killed people. I've killed thousands of people. That's how evil I am. Come back here. How dare you? And so she runs out. And as she runs out, Batman's just sitting there waiting, and, like, the cops are there as well with their, like, guns and handcuffs and stuff like that, and be like, look, you're sick. I know you're sick. I'm going to take you to get some help. Bye. And he just leaves her with the cops, and the cops handcuff her, put her away. And they basically are just, like, saying, like, yeah, no, she's messed up, man. Like, I don't know why Batman went so easy on her with the Joker's face. I figured he'd, like, really want to lay the smackdown or whatever, but I guess he, wants her to get scared straight in Arkham. And as they're doing this, Joker's daughter manages to pull out the handcuffs off of her hands, and she stabs one end of it into one of the cop's eyes. And so the car crashes, and the other cop manages to draw her gun, and Joker's daughter's like, he said I couldn't kill. He said I wasn't good enough to be a real villain. I'll show him a real villain. And she comes up and she starts strangling the other cop with, like, a string. And she's like, yep, I can do this. I'm doing it. I'm killing someone. And then she lets go. And she's like, well, I mean, I don't have to kill. I mean, I definitely am a killer, and I'm definitely going to kill. But like the whole reason I'm doing this is now she's not going to be able to speak for days. And isn't that funnier? Isn't it funnier the fact that she's going to have like the scar around her neck like that, and the other one's going to need an eye patch. So yeah, that's what my daddy wants. But like as she's walking towards Arkham, because she wants to go there anyway, she wants to know where her father spent most of his time. She's like, I don't feel so good. So we go into Arkham and we meet up with a bunch of orderlies. Two of them are pretty new, but one of them has been around for a while, including during Death of the Family when Joker took over the asylum. And they kind of like comfort him as they accidentally bring it up and just be like, "Oh yeah, sorry man, that's a lot." And so all of a sudden they get a red alert. Someone's at the front gate. They need to deal with that. And the one of the younger orderlies is like, "Look, we have a bunch of chemicals out. I can't leave them unattended. I'll put them away. You guys go deal with the front gate." So she brings him downstairs into the basement, and as she turns on a light, a bunch of rats scatter, and creeping out from the shadows behind the stairs is Joker's daughter, who immediately tries to jump on her. She, however, pulls out like some chemicals and throws it on Joker's daughter, and she's like, what is that? You could have messed up my mask. You could have messed up his face. How dare you? I'll kill you. And she's just like, what? No, you're not the Joker. You're just some girl. What the heck is this? We can get you some help. Is that the whole reason you're here? And she's like, no, I want to know about my dad. Tell me about my father. And she's like, what? The Joker? I don't know. I wasn't even here the night that he took over the asylum. I don't know what's going on. And she's like, fine, who was? And the orderly who was there comes downstairs being like, I was. It was messed up. Like, what do you want in the Joker? And just like, oh, I need to find him. He chose me. I'm his chosen daughter. And he's just like, no, that's not how the Joker works. That's not what's up. And besides, it doesn't even sound like you want to be his daughter. It sounds like you're just looking for a god. And she's just like, oh, I want his blood in my veins. I need his flesh and his blood. And it's just like, yeah, no, kid, you're messed up. But the guy who was there for the Joker attacks describes it. He's like, you want to know what the Joker's about? Like, here's all the crazy ass crap he made us do during Death of the Family. He is scary. You're just a kid playing dress up. You're not scary. You're no one. And she's just like, shut up. I am too. Why does everyone keep saying that? So at that point, she smashes the light bulb above them, superheating her like scepter thing that she uses. And she drives it into the orderly who like saw the Joker stuff, and then like slashes it out of his body, actually killing him. So she's officially committed murder. And then she runs upstairs. She tries to get away, and she's like, "Oh, I've done it. I've done it." And they've turned off all the lights, but like I can make my way through Gotham. And Jesus, I really do not feel good right now. Oh God. All right. Anyway, I gotta find where you were, where your cell was. I gotta find you. And she is contacted by one of the inmates named Anchorus, who was one of the very first patients in Arkham. She has some ability to like vibrate electrons or something. I don't know, but it's able to like make people relive some old memories. And she's like, "Hey, kid, come here. Come here. I knew Joker. I'll tell you all about Joker. I'll tell you what's up." And as Joker's daughter gets closer, she puts her hand on Joker's daughter's head and is like, "Psych, you're trespassing here. This is a place of healing. Get out of here." And she forces Joker's daughter to like relive some old memories. And we see like she's 15 years old. She's brunette. And despite living in a very happy household, she has like depression and anger, and she uses razor blades on herself. And then she's 16 and she's blonde, but she's always been a perfectly good princess who just snapped one day and killed her parents. And then we go to when she's 17 and she has black hair, and she's always been an outcast and nobody's ever understood her, including her own parents. They hate her so much. And then Anchorus pulls back away and she's like, "Jesus, kid, you were muttering all of that to yourself. None of that, like that can't all be true," which means you're just like picking and choosing your origin story based off whatever feels right to you. That's pathetic. How pathetic are you that you have to steal other people's stories? God, you're such a freaking poser. And she's like, "No, I'm not. Stop doing that." So she runs out of the building and she goes to the Gotham Reservoir because she's like, this is where Joker came during Death of the Family to start everything off. And I need to feel close to him. God, I thought this would be easier. And like, I really don't feel good, okay? I feel sick. Why are you rejecting me? Why don't you come to me when I try to find you? And she's like, all right, there's only one place I can go. I need to go to the guy who cut off your face to begin with. That's my only hope here. So she goes around interrogating some people off screen until finally she gets the location of the doll maker out in like a shack on the Gotham Harbor. And she budges in and she's like, doll maker, you cut off my dad's face. And also I took out your children. They will recover, but like, don't mess with me. You're going to do something for me. And he's just like, oh God, are you wearing Joker's face? That's gross, kid. That's rotten. I only work in perfection. That's gross. And she's like, no, look, I have a whole villain story. I took over the Gotham Underground. I did a bunch of stuff. And Dollmaker's like, I've heard about the Gotham Underground. That place was doing perfectly fine. And then you stepped up and you like assumed power, but like you made everything worse. You're just like corrupt. You're just like gross by yourself and you make everything you touch grosser. And she's like, do what I say or I'm going to kill your like kids. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'll be your dog. I'll take all of this anger and stuff and aim it towards you. And you won't like that. And he's like, all right, well, what do you want me to do? And she's like, I want you to sew this face onto me permanently. I want it to be a permanent part of me. And he's like, all right, in exchange, you get me some new flesh from the underground. Deal? And she's like, sure, whatever, fine. So Dollmaker does that, and she's like, ah, yes, this is what I needed. This feels right. This is good. This is what I need. So she officially has Joker's face sewn onto her body, and she says, yes, I will now rule Gotham as your heir. I am now officially part of you. Wait, hold on. Dollmaker, do you have any like leftover blood or whatever from the Joker when you did his operation? Dollmaker's like, I mean, yeah, I collected a little bit. It's like barely even an ounce, but yeah, no, I got something. And she's like, gimme. And so she takes a syringe with Joker's blood, injects it into her own veins, and she's like, ah, I did it. His flesh is my flesh. His blood is my blood. I am now officially the rightful heir of the Joker. Thank you. And she just walks out and leaves. So then she goes to the place where she grew up, a place where she hid when she like ran away from home and stuff. And she just is curled up in a fetal position up in the attic. And she's like, I did all this stuff, but like I still feel so common, so normal. Like, I want to be special. That's what all this is. I want to be rare. I want to be something. I want to be someone. That's why I love the Joker so much. But, like, even with everything, I'm so sick of my common life. I don't want to be that anymore. I want him to set me free. And we see, like, well, I finally killed somebody, so maybe that's going to be enough. But, like, I don't know. Maybe the Joker doesn't even want me. This was all for nothing. And she looks up at her cat. By the way, she has a cat. And the cat has a little note tied around its neck. And it's just like, wait, hold on. What's that? What's going on here? She unties the note, and inside of it, written on purple paper with blood, is a note saying, hello, beautiful. And Joker's daughter is immediately like, oh my God, it was him. He saw me. He saw me. Oh my God, this is the greatest day of my life. I will become your disciple, Joker. Wherever you are, I will do your bidding. I will make Gotham bleed. And when you come back, I know that I'll be waiting for you. The end. It's a messed up book. I think it's more messed up by the idea, not that Joker's daughter does anything particularly like heinous. Like, yeah, she kills a guy, and that's bad and all. But it's just by the fact that every single person she comes across points out, like, you say you're Joker's daughter, but, like, you've done nothing to earn that. You literally are just nothing. And you've just assumed this high title of Joker's daughter. Like, screw you, man. You're not worth it. And I like how the book plays with that. It takes the time to say, like, well, yeah, she needs to build herself up. She needs to find something that is her own. And to have the Joker not interact with her, because I do think that Joker would hate her, but to have her just, like, taunted into this position, I like that. I think that's good. Oh, no, it's a fine one-shot. I don't see the reason for its existence unless they're really going to make a hard push for Joker's daughter in something. I don't think they do, but we'll see. Overall, I'd say this is probably like a... I'm going to say 6.5, just because if I can't if I have to wonder why the comic exists at all, that means it wasn't like a story that felt it needed to be told. So it can't be like on that threshold of good where a 7 would sit. So I think a 6.5, that sounds about right to me. So yeah, Joker's Daughter, wherever she may show up next, at least we have a backstory.